Everyone at Eastbridge High expected the new teacher to quit by the end of the week. Her name was Miss Zara, and she walked into that school with soft eyes, a calm voice, and kindness written all over her face. To some, that kindness looked like weakness. The moment she stepped into her first class, students whispered, laughed, and tested her limits. And in the center of it all were three students who practically ran the school: Faizan, Danny, and Hamid, the so-called untouchables. They had made 5 substitute teachers walk out in the last 2 months. The administration turned a blind eye. The principal was close friends with Faizan's influential father. Teachers were afraid. Students stayed silent. The school was broken, ruled not by learning but by fear. Miss Zara didn't come from a privileged background. She wasn't hired through connections. She came because she believed that students, even the worst ones, had a chance to change. But she had no idea how cruel her first week would become. It started small. Disruptive laughter in class, mock clapping every time she spoke, disrespectful comments under their breath. She kept her voice gentle, tried to reason, tried to earn their respect instead of forcing it. But it only made them bolder. One afternoon, while she was writing notes on the board, Faizan made a loud whistle. The class burst into laughter. Zara turned, confused, trying to maintain her calm. Danny took out his phone and began recording, mocking her appearance. "Hey miss, you lost." Hamid smirked. "This isn't daycare." She asked them to step outside. They refused. The next day, someone threw chalk at her back while she taught. She didn't react. Someone else wrote, "Weakling," across her desk in red marker. She wiped it silently. It wasn't weakness. It was restraint. But what happened on Friday pushed everything too far. Zara stayed behind after school to grade some papers. It was quiet. The hallways were empty. Just as she packed up, the lights flickered off. The door creaked open. Footsteps entered, 3 shadows, laughing. Before she could say a word, Faizan grabbed her wrist, Danny held her shoulders, and Hamid yanked her hair, pulling her down. "Let's see how long before you crawl out of this school like the rest." Faizan sneered. They dragged her by her hair down the hallway, laughing like it was a game. But something snapped inside her. Not fear, not rage, fire. Zara twisted her body, elbowed Hamid in the ribs, and used the momentum to pull herself free. The boys stumbled back. Before they could react, she stood tall, hair messed, eyes blazing. "You think I'm scared of you," she said, her voice cold and clear. "You're not strong. You're spoiled. Broken boys who've never been told no." They laughed again, but shakier this time. Zara didn't back down. "Touch me again, and I'll press charges. I've recorded everything. Every insult, every threat, every violation." She pulled out her phone. It was on, recording the entire incident. And then, the real shock came. From behind the lockers, Principal Haroon stepped out. And he had seen everything. He wasn't supposed to be there. But he'd received an anonymous tip about the boys' next move. And what he saw shattered his silence. That very night, he suspended all 3 boys and contacted their parents with full reports. The video went viral among the staff. Teachers who had suffered silently stood up with her. Students who had once stayed quiet found courage in her defiance. The administration had no choice but to act. A proper inquiry was launched. For once, justice didn't hide behind fear or influence. Miss Zara returned to class on Monday with her head held high. But this time, no one laughed. Even the worst students sat straight, their smirks gone, their power stripped. Zara didn't need revenge. She needed only to be seen for who she really was. Not weak, but powerful beyond measure. Over the next few weeks, she transformed the classroom. The same students who once mocked her now found themselves drawn to her strength, her clarity, her belief that they were more than just troublemakers. Faizan, after his suspension, returned quieter. Humiliated, yes, but changed. Slowly, she worked with him. And somehow, bit by bit, even he began to soften. The day the school announced Zara as Teacher of the Month, it wasn't because of popularity. It was because she reminded everyone, staff, students, and even the bullies, what real strength looks like. Not in screaming, not in fear, but in the quiet, unshakable courage to rise after being dragged.